The school bell rang loud. Students rushed into Class 10B, talking, laughing, throwing paper balls. It was just another morning, until Ayan walked in, holding someone's hand. It wasn't just anyone, it was Zara. The class went silent. Zara was the quiet girl from the poor side of town. Her skin was darker than the rest, her clothes old, her shoes worn. She always sat in the last row, never spoke unless the teacher asked her to. No one really knew her, and no one tried to. But Ayan, he was popular, smart, rich, top in sports. Every girl liked him. Every guy wanted to be him. So why? Was he holding Zara's hand? A small laugh came from the front row. Then another voice whispered, "He must be joking." A girl in a pink scarf rolled her eyes. "He can get any girl. Why her?" Ayan said nothing. He just looked around the class calmly and guided Zara to the seat beside him. But Zara? She looked down the whole time. Her hands shook. Her eyes searched for a way to disappear. Rewind to 1 week ago. Ayan had noticed Zara crying near the school garden. No one else saw her, or maybe no one cared. He sat beside her and asked softly, "Are you okay?" Zara didn't answer. She just wiped her tears. "People say a lot of things about you," he continued. "But they don't even know your name, do they?" Zara looked up, confused. "I'm Ayan," he smiled. "And I want to know who you really are." Zara stayed, quiet for a moment, and then whispered, "Why?" He shrugged. "Because you look like someone with a big story." Back in class, the whispers continued. At break time, Ayan's best friend Bilal pulled him aside. "Have you lost your mind?" Bilal asked. "No. She's Zara." "And you could have anyone, bro. Why her? She doesn't even talk," Ayan replied with calm eyes. "Exactly. Because when she does talk, it means something." The next few days were worse. Someone drew a cartoon of Ayan and Zara on the blackboard, her nose huge, his smile broken. Others laughed. Zara begged Ayan to stop walking with her. "They're laughing at you." He looked at her and said, "Let them. Their laughter is just noise. You're the music." Zara's eyes filled with tears. Nobody had ever spoken to her like that. Then came the school's open mic day. A teacher announced, "Any student can come up and speak." "A poem, a speech, anything." Bilal whispered something to the others, then raised his hand. "Yes, Bilal?" the teacher asked. "I think Zara should speak. She's always quiet. Maybe she has something to say?" Some students chuckled. The teacher smiled. "That's a good idea." "Zara?" Zara froze. Her hands turned cold. Her mind went blank. She could barely breathe. She stammered. Ayan stood up beside her. "She accepts," he said confidently. Zara looked at him in shock. What was he doing? "You'll do great," he whispered. That night, Zara sat in her tiny room, paper in front of her, pen in hand, but heart full of fear. What would she say? What if they laughed? What if her voice cracked? Then she remembered Ayan's words. "Their laughter is just noise. You're the music." She picked up the pen and started writing. The next morning, the school hall was full. Parents, teachers, students. One by one, kids performed. Some told jokes, some sang. Then the teacher called out, "Next we have Zara from Class 10B. The hall fell silent. Zara stepped forward slowly, her steps shaky, her lips dry. She stood at the mic and opened her paper. But before she could speak, someone from the crowd shouted, "Speak louder! We can't hear your whispers!" Laughter followed. Zara's fingers trembled. She looked around, eyes filled with judgment. Some mocking, some surprised, some just blank. Then she saw him. Ayan stood at the side of the stage. No smile, no fear, just his calm eyes locked on hers. Zara took a deep breath, and she began. They say I don't belong because my skin is dark, because my dress is old, because I don't speak loud. But I do belong, because I feel, because I dream, because I love. The room went silent, not even a whisper. You laughed at me before knowing my name. You judged my face before seeing my pain. But someone saw me, not with eyes, but with heart. And because of him, I speak. Today! Her voice cracked, but she didn't stop. When she finished, no one clapped right away. But then, one person stood. It was Ayan. He clapped, slowly but loudly, and soon the whole hall joined in. Zara looked down. Her paper shook in her hands, but her lips curled into something new, a smile, not a wide one, not a confident one, but the kind of smile that hides years of pain and hope for tomorrow. The rain was falling hard that evening. Most students had already gone home. Only a few remained near the school gate, waiting for rides, but Ayan stood in the open courtyard, looking around. He held his umbrella in one hand. In the other, he held Zara's speech, now a little wet, but still powerful. She had disappeared right after her performance. No one knew where she went. Ayan checked behind the stage, checked near the back gate, no sign of her, until he turned toward the old garden. And there she was. Zara sat on the wet bench, her arms around her knees, tears mixing with the rain. He slowly walked up to her. "You're going to get sick," he said gently. Zara didn't look up. "Why did you make me go on stage?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Why did you believe in me?" Ayan stood silently for a moment, then he sat beside her, even though the bench was soaked. "I didn't make you go," he said. "I just reminded you of the voice you were hiding." Zara looked at him now. Her eyes were red. "But what difference did it make?" she asked. "Tomorrow they'll still laugh. Next week they'll forget." "No," Ayan said calmly. "They won't." He handed her the speech. "Some words stay forever." Zara looked down at her hands. "They call me ugly," she whispered. "They laugh at my clothes, my skin, my silence. I've heard it all. And yet," Ayan replied, "you stood in front of hundreds and made them listen." Zara shook her head. "You'll lose everything because of me," she said. "Your friends, your respect, maybe even your future." Ayan gave a half smile. "I don't want a future where I have to hide my heart." Zara stared at him. "I don't understand you." He chuckled. "Neither do I." Then he looked into her eyes and said something she would never forget. "One day, they'll remember this moment. Not because you cried, but because you rose." That night, Zara sat in her room for hours. The sound of rain echoed outside. She opened a notebook, an old one with torn pages, and for the first time, she wrote something not for school, but for herself. "Dear world, you don't know me, but you'll remember me." She began writing short stories about pain, about girls with voices locked inside, about kindness, about boys with broken smiles and hearts bigger than their words. Every night she filled pages, but no one knew. Not even Ayan. Days passed. People still whispered, but some began to smile at her. A teacher asked her to help in a debate team. A girl, named Ariba, asked if she'd like to sit with her at lunch. Zara was quiet, but not invisible anymore. Ayan still walked with her, still waited at her gate, still made her laugh when she didn't want to smile. But not everything was perfect. One morning, Ayan sat quietly in class. He didn't talk, didn't smile. Zara noticed. "What happened?" she asked after class. He looked at her with sad eyes. My dad found out, he said softly. About us? Ayan nodded. He said I'm ruining the family name. Zara's heart sank. He told me to stop seeing. You, Ayan said, or he'll cut off my school funds. Zara looked down, hurt. You should listen to him, Ayan frowned. No, you have a future, Ayan. Don't throw it away for me. You are my future, Zara. She didn't reply, just turned away and walked off. That night, Ayan waited at the gate of her street. She didn't come. He waited again the next day. Nothing. On the third day, he left a note in her mailbox. I don't care what they say. I'm not giving up. No answer. A week later, Zara met him near the school garden. She looked pale, tired, but her eyes were calm. I'm leaving, she said. What? I got accepted to a writing program, far from here. I'm going tomorrow. Ayan's mouth went dry. So you're running? No, she said. I'm growing. He stepped forward. What about me? Zara's lips trembled. I don't want to be the reason you lose everything. But I already lost everything. When I lost you. Tears ran down her face. Ayan slowly took out something from his pocket. A small silver chain. He placed it in her hand. When the world tells you to stop, remember this. You are not what they said. You are what you choose to become. Zara nodded, and without saying another word, she turned and walked away. The rain started again that night, but this time, Ayan sat alone on the bench in the garden. No umbrella, no smile, just the sound of water and memories. 3 years had passed. Ayan sat in his office, looking out the tall glass window. The city below was loud and fast, cars honking, people rushing, life moving without pause. But inside Ayan's heart, everything felt slow and heavy. He had everything people dream of. A high-paying job, a fancy apartment, a car that turned heads, but something was missing, something or someone that no success could replace. Zara. He still remembered the day she left. No goodbye, no phone number. Just a silver chain and silence. At first he waited. 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Then he tried to move on. But every time he smiled, it felt fake. Every time he laughed, it echoed empty. His heart carried a hole no one else could fill. Back then, after Zara disappeared, life had hit him hard. His father was furious. You threw away your future for a girl like her? He shouted. Ayan stayed quiet. His father warned, if you ever see her again, don't come back to this house. That night, Ayan packed his things and left. He worked during the day, studied. At night, no more luxuries, no more friends, just him and her memory. Sometimes he read her old speech again, the one she gave on stage. He had kept it, folded inside a book. Each line felt like her voice whispering in his ear. Someone saw me, not with eyes, but with heart. But the world didn't wait. Time moved on. So did people. Only Ayan didn't. 1 rainy evening, he stopped by a bookstore near his office. He wasn't looking for anything, just passing time. Then something caught his eye. A book on the front display. Its cover was simple, black and white. A single rose on the corner. The title, The Girl No One Saw. Author, Z.R. Malikayan froze. He picked it up with shaking hands, turned to the first page, and read the opening lines. They mocked him for choosing me, but he chose me anyway. And when I walked away, I carried his heart with me. His fingers trembled, his chest tightened. This wasn't just a book. It was Zara. He bought the book and rushed home. He read all night. Every word was a memory. She wrote about her childhood, about being called ugly, about eating lunch alone, about the one boy who changed her life. He stood by me when the world turned away. He saw light in my darkness. Tears rolled down Ayan's face. She didn't forget. She still remembered. But where was she now? The next morning, he searched her name online, Z.R. Malik, now a best-selling authored TV shows, book tours, magazine covers. Millions of fans followed her. People quoted her words. Schools taught her stories. She was everywhere. And yet, she was still a mystery. She never showed her full face, never gave her full name. She only said in one interview, "There was one person who believed in me. And if he's still out there, I hope he knows. I never stopped loving him." Ayan sat in front of the screen, stunned. Was she talking about him? That day, he skipped work. He walked the city streets, lost in thought. Every corner reminded him of her. The tea shop they once stood outside, the bookstore where she read in silence, the bench in the school garden where they first spoke. Everything had changed, but his feelings? Still the same. Later that night, Ayan opened the book again. This time, he noticed something new. On the last page, in tiny letters, "To the boy with the broken smile, if you're still reading, I left a letter for you." Inside the book, page 47. His hands shook. He quickly flipped to page 47. There it was, taped to the inside, a small folded note. He pulled it out and opened it slowly. It read, "Dear Ayan, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you do, I want you to know I never forgot. I never stopped writing. I never stopped loving. You once said, when the world tells you to stop, remember you are not what they say." That line saved me. If you still remember me, come to the last bench of our old school this Sunday at 4 p.m. If you don't come, I'll understand. But if you do, I'll be waiting. Zara, Ayan sat in silence, the letter in his hand. His heart beat fast. Was this real? Was she really waiting? He looked at the date. Sunday, just 2 days away. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat by the window, reading the letter again and again. He didn't know what to expect, but one thing was clear. He had to go. The school looked older now. The walls had cracks. The paint had faded. But for Ayan, it still held 1,000 memories. He walked slowly through the empty corridors on that quiet Sunday evening. It was 3:55 p.m., 5 minutes early. His heart was racing. Every step brought him closer to the place where everything began. The garden, the same garden where Zara once cried in the rain, where she gave her first speech, where he gave her the silver chain, and there at the back was the bench, old, rusty, but still standing, just like their memories. But the bench was empty. Ayan looked around. No one. He checked his watch, RPM. Still no sign. He sat down and waited. Minutes passed. Every sound made his heart jump. Footsteps? No. Just the wind. Leaves? No, just a bird. The silence was loud. His hands were cold, but his hope was alive. Then, at 4:13 p.m., he heard the gate creak open, soft footsteps, slow, nervous. He turned, and there she was, Zara. She had changed, but not completely. Her hair was longer. Her eyes looked stronger. Her clothes were simple, just like before. But there was something else. Now. A quiet power, like a storm that had learned to stay calm. They stared at each other for a moment. No words, just silence. And in that silence, their hearts spoke. She walked slowly toward him. He stood up. Zara stopped a few feet away. "I didn't know if you'd come," she said. "I didn't know if you were real," he replied. She smiled softly. I wasn't, not until I started writing. He stepped closer. You disappeared. I had to, she said. I wasn't strong enough to stay. Ayan looked down. I searched for you. I know, she whispered. I read your name in every comment, on my blog. I recognized your words. Why didn't you reply? Because I wasn't ready to face you. Not until I could stand tall. Ayan's voice shook. You were always strong, Zara. No, she said, eyes wet. I became strong because of you. They sat on the bench together. Just like before. But everything felt different now. He looked at her hands. They were shaking slightly. I kept the chain, she said, pulling it from her bag. It reminded me who I was, when the world tried to erase me. Ayan smiled. You didn't just survive, Zara. You shined. They talked for hours, about everything, the pain, the journey, the growth. Zara told him how she spent nights alone in a hostel room, writing by candlelight because there was no electricity. How publishers rejected her over and over, how she finally uploaded her stories online, and readers connected instantly. How girls from villages, cities, and other countries wrote to her, saying, I thought I was alone. Your words saved me. And how, in every story she wrote, she left a secret message for one person. Ayan. I wrote because I missed you, she said quietly. I read because I missed you, he replied. They both laughed softly, tears mixed with smiles, the kind of laughter only broken hearts understand. Just as the sun began to set, Zara stood up. I have to go, she said. Where? My next event is in Lahore tomorrow. I'm leaving tonight. Ayan stood too. Will I see you again? She paused, then took out a pen and scribbled something on a blank page from her notebook. She handed it to him, a single line. Go to the bookstore on Hill Street. Ask for the shelf with no name. Look behind the last book. Then she whispered, If your heart still remembers mine, you'll know what it means. And just like that, she walked away again. The next morning, Ayan stood outside the small bookstore on Hill Street. It was quiet. The bell above the door jingled as he stepped inside. Can I help you? The old shopkeeper asked. I'm looking for the shelf, with no name, Ayan said. The man nodded slowly. Back corner, right side. Ayan walked through the rows of books. Each shelf had a label, romance, history, fiction. But then, in the far right corner, a plain wooden shelf. No label, just books. Dusty, unopened, forgotten. He ran his fingers along the books, then found the last one, pulled it out. Behind it was a small flat box. He opened it slowly. Inside was a photo of him and Zara, sitting on the old bench, and behind the photo, a note. If you're holding this, it means you came. I don't know what our future holds, but I know this. I'm done hiding. If you want to walk with me again, I'll be at the next book launch. And this time, I want the world to know your name too. Ayan closed the box, his hands trembling. For the first time in years, he felt whole. The hall was packed. Rows of chairs, camera lights flashing, books stacked neatly on every table. A huge banner above the stage read, Book Launch, When Silence Speaks, by Z.R. Malik. People whispered. Some looked at their watches, some flipped through the new book, and in the middle row sat Ayan. His hands were cold, his heartbeat fast. He had never been to a book event before. But this one? This wasn't just any event. This was her event. The last few days had felt like a dream. First the garden, then the photo behind the book, and now, this. Ayan didn't know what to expect. Would she come to him? Would she even talk to him? He hadn't seen her since that quiet goodbye near the school bench. But he came, because something deep inside told him this moment mattered. At 6 p.m. sharp, the host took the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said with a smile, "today we are proud to welcome a voice that touched millions." People clapped, cameras clicked, a writer who turned her pain into poetry, her silence into strength. More claps. "Please welcome Z.R. Malik." The spotlight moved. The crowd stood, and there she was, Zara wearing a soft white dress, hair tied neatly, eyes shining but calm. She walked to the stage with quiet confidence. Not the scared girl from years ago, but a woman who had faced the world and won. Ayan watched silently. He smiled. He wasn't just seeing her success. He was seeing his hope come to life. Zara stood behind the mic. She looked at the crowd, then took a deep breath. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was steady, kind, strong. "I want to tell you a story, a true one." People leaned in. In school, there was a girl who was different. Not pretty, not confident. Always quiet, murmurs filled the room. She was laughed at, ignored, made to feel small. Zara paused. Her eyes scanned the crowd, then rested on Ayan. But then, one day, someone saw her. The audience stayed silent. He didn't see her face. He saw her pain. She smiled. That moment changed everything. Ayan's eyes filled with tears. He knew she was talking about them. Zara continued, "I wrote books. I shared stories. But everything I became started with one person's kindness." People clapped. Some wiped tears. She opened her book and read aloud. "They mocked him for choosing me, but he never stopped. And now, the world knows who I am, because he once believed when no one else did." After the speech, fans lined up to meet her. Some brought books. Others just wanted a picture. Ayan stood at the back, waiting, watching. His heart whispered, "What if she forgot me again?" But then, as she signed the last book, Zara looked up, straight at him. Their eyes met. She stood, walked past the tables, past the crowd, and stopped right in front of him. "I was hoping you'd come," she said. "I was hoping you'd remember," he replied. "I never forgot," she whispered. He handed her the book to sign. She opened it, wrote something, then gave it back. He read the message. "To the boy who changed my story. Will you help me write the next chapter?" He looked at her, smiled. "Only if it has both our names on the cover." She laughed softly. And for a moment, the noise of the world disappeared. As they stood together, the host came forward. "Zara," he said, "people are asking about the man you mentioned in your speech. Would you like to say more?" She nodded, took the mic again. "Yes," she said. "I think it's time they know." She turned to Ayan and held his hand. "This is the boy with the broken smile." Gasps. Cameras clicked. People whispered. Zara continued, "The one they mocked me for choosing. The one who stood with me when no one else did." Then she said the words that melted hearts. "And today, I choose him again." A standing ovation followed. People clapped. Some cried. Others smiled. Because they weren't just watching a book launch. They were witnessing something rare, something real. Two souls, once lost in pain, now found in love. Later that evening, as the crowd left and lights dimmed, Ayan and Zara sat on the edge of the stage, quiet, peaceful. "You know," Ayan said, "for years I thought I lost you forever." Zara looked at him. "You never lost me. I was just trying to become someone who deserved you." He smiled. You already were. The night grew darker, but their hearts felt light. Outside, the city kept moving. But inside that hall, two people finally found what they were searching for. Not fame, not success, but each other. The next few weeks felt like a dream. Zara and Ayan spent more time together, long walks, midnight calls, quiet coffees in small cafes. They laughed like old friends, they talked like soulmates, and for the first time in years, Ayan felt peace. Zara was shining. Her second book was already in print. Her face was on posters. Magazines called her the voice of the voiceless. But to Ayan, she was still the girl who cried in the rain, still simple, still real, still his, Zara. One evening, they visited the old school again. This time, the gate wasn't locked. They walked hand in hand past the faded walls. Students stared, teachers whispered, some smiled, some didn't. In the staff room, Miss Afshin, the teacher, who once scolded Zara in front of everyone, looked shocked. "You came back?" she said coldly. Zara smiled gently. "Yes, ma'am. I came back stronger." As they were about to leave, someone called out behind them. A deep, proud voice. "Zara Malik." They turned. It was Zara's father. Ayan froze. Zara went silent. He hadn't seen her father in years, not since that day. The day she disappeared. The man looked older, tired, but not broken. His eyes searched his daughter's face. "You've changed," he said. Zara took a slow breath. "I had to." Her father stepped forward. "I watched your interview on TV." Zara didn't speak. He continued. "You made your mother cry." "I wrote the truth," Zara said softly. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled. Then came silence. Heavy, uncomfortable. Then, her father's voice cracked. "I didn't know how much pain we gave you. I was too proud to understand." Zara's eyes filled with tears. He looked at Ayan. "And you stayed?" Ayan nodded. "I stayed. I always will." Zara's father looked down, then said something no one expected. "I'm sorry." Zara blinked. She had waited years to hear those two words, and now that they were here, she didn't know what to say. She walked forward, hugged him. The man who once told her to stay silent, now hugged the daughter who found her voice. That night, Ayan and Zara sat on the rooftop of her apartment. The city lights sparkled below. Zara stared at the stars. "You know," she said softly, "I thought I hated him." Ayan nodded. "But now, I feel free." He held her hand. "You broke the cycle, Zara. You healed what they tried to break." But just when everything seemed perfect, something dark returned. It started with a comment on one of Zara's videos, then a private message, then an email, all from a name she never forgot, Rita, the same girl who once led the bullying, the girl who once said Zara didn't deserve love. Now, she was back. At first, Zara ignored her, but the messages became cruel. She thinks she's a star now? Wait till they find out the truth. "You can't run from the past, Zara," Ayan was furious. "Block her," he said. "I did," Zara whispered. "But she keeps creating fake accounts." Then, one morning, Ayan got a call. From an unknown number. He answered. It was a reporter. "Hello. Is this Ayan, Zara Malik's friend?" "Yes." "Who's asking?" "There's a video going viral. About her. It's not good." Ayan rushed to Zara's apartment. She was sitting on the floor, laptop open, eyes wide. On the screen, an old video, grainy, shaky, taken years ago at school. Zara, crying in a corner, surrounded by girls laughing. One voice clear, Rita's. "She's such a drama queen," Rita laughed. In the video, no one likes her. And in the background, a boy walked past, didn't stop, didn't help. The internet exploded. Is this the same Zara Malik? She faked her past to get sympathy. Why didn't that boy help? People pointed fingers. Tears ran down Zara's face. Ayan felt helpless. But that night, Zara did something powerful. She posted her own video. Simple background. No makeup, no script, just raw truth. She looked straight into the camera. Yes, that was me in the video. Crying, alone, scared. Yes, people laughed. And yes, that boy walked away. But you know what? I'm not angry anymore. Because that girl in the video, she survived. She rose. She paused, tears in her eyes. But let me be clear. I never asked for pity. I asked for respect. And the boy who walked away that day came back. She smiled. He stood with me when it mattered most. The video reached millions. Comments poured in. You're a warrior. This made me cry. Proud of you, Zara. But the final comment on her video came from an unexpected name, Rita. I was wrong. You won. And now, the whole world knows why. It had been 3 weeks since Zara posted her video, and in those 3 weeks, everything changed. TV channels called her brave. Newspapers called her a voice of hope. Even people who once ignored her now wanted selfies and interviews. But Zara, she stayed calm. She smiled. She worked on her 3rd book quietly, and by her side, always, was Ayan. One evening, as they sat on a bench near the lake, Ayan asked, "Do you ever feel like this is all too much?" Zara looked at the water. "Do," she whispered. "But when I remember where I started, I feel grateful." Ayan smiled. "You've come so far, Zara." She looked at him softly. "And so have you." The sun was setting, the sky painted with orange and gold. Zara rested her head on his shoulder. They didn't need words, just silence, peaceful and warm. But deep inside Ayan's heart, something was building. Something he had hidden for too long. That night, Ayan called Zara's younger brother Saad. "I need your help," he said. "For what?" Saad asked. Ayan took a deep breath. "I want to propose to your sister." There was silence. Then Saad said, "Finally." Over the next few days, Ayan made a plan. Not a big party, not a fancy place, just something simple, something meaningful, something Zara. He picked a quiet garden, the same one where Zara used to sit alone during school, the same bench, the same tree. But this time, it was decorated with fairy lights. Soft music played in the background. Photos of Zara's journey were hung gently on strings, from the crying schoolgirl to the powerful author she had become. That evening, Zara was brought to the garden blindfolded, where, "Are we going?" She laughed. "You'll see," Ayan said nervously. When they reached the bench, he removed the blindfold. Zara gasped. She looked around, tears in her eyes. "What is this?" Ayan held her hand. "This is where your story began." He got down on one knee. Zara froze. Ayan's voice shook with emotion. "Years ago, I saw a girl sitting here, alone." She didn't smile. She didn't speak. But her silence said everything. "I didn't know it then, Zara. But you were the one." Zara's eyes filled. People watched from a distance, silent. Waiting, praying, Ayan continued. "You turned pain into power, tears into truth, and silence into strength." He took out a small box, opened it. A ring sparkled inside. "Zara Malik, will you write the rest of your story with me?" Zara stood frozen. Her hands covered her mouth. She looked at Ayan, at the bench, at the lights, at the memories. Then she nodded, slowly, then faster. Then she whispered, "Yes. Yes, Ayan. I will." The crowd clapped softly. Zara hugged him tightly. No cameras, no drama, just love, raw and real. Later that night, Zara wrote in her diary, "They mocked him for choosing me. But today, he chose me again, in front of the world. And I, with all my heart, chose him too." But as they walked out of the garden, hand in hand, a woman stepped out from behind a tree. She wore sunglasses, red lipstick, and a cold smirk. She clapped slowly. "Well done," she said. "Very romantic." Zara's heart sank. Ayan's eyes narrowed. It was Rita. "What do you want now?" Ayan asked. Rita smiled. "Nothing much, just a little truth." Zara stepped forward. "We've moved on, Rita." Rita laughed, but the truth hasn't. She pulled out her phone. "I wonder what your fans would say if they saw this." Zara's face went pale. "What is that?" Ayan asked. "Something from the past," Rita said. "Something even Zara forgot." She turned the screen toward them. Zara gasped. Her hand flew to her mouth. Ayan stared in shock. Because what they saw could destroy everything. Zara's eyes stayed fixed on the phone screen. The video played. For only 15 seconds, but it was enough. A shaky camera, a classroom, a younger Zara, sitting alone, drawing in her notebook. And suddenly, her sketch was ripped from her hands. Girls laughing, Rita's voice. "You think this is art? What a joke." Then the cruelest part. Zara stood up and pushed one of them back. A teacher entered, but all she saw was Zara's hands on the other girl. She shouted, "Zara, you're suspended!" Zara stepped back. I don't even remember this," she whispered. Ayan looked confused. "You got suspended?" Zara nodded slowly, her voice shaking. "I didn't touch her to hurt her. I was just scared." Rita crossed her arms. "Doesn't matter. The world doesn't care about details." She smiled coldly. "I wonder what your fans will say when they see this." Zara looked at the ground, tears in her eyes. "I thought I was done with this pain." Ayan stepped forward. "You really haven't changed, have you, Rita?" Rita shrugged. "I just think the truth deserves to be heard." But then Zara did something surprising. She smiled, a small, soft smile, the kind that holds strength. She looked up at Rita. "You're right," she said. "The truth should be heard." That night, Zara uploaded one final video. It wasn't long, just 3 minutes. She spoke clearly. No makeup, no music, just truth. She looked at the camera. "Years ago, I was bullied, mocked, pushed, and yes, one day I pushed back. I was punished for defending myself, but I never spoke about it, because I thought no one would believe me." She paused. "But now I know something important. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs honest ones." Zara's video ended with just one line. "I don't have a clean past, but I have a clear heart." The response was overwhelming. Thousands of comments flooded in. "You're brave. Thank you for being real. Even more respect now." Rita tried to post the video, but nobody listened. People had seen Zara's truth. They stood with her, because pain shared with honesty is powerful. 2 weeks later, Zara and Ayan got married in a small ceremony. No expensive halls, no celebrity guests, just family, close friends, and quiet joy. At the wedding, Zara wore a simple white dress, no heavy jewelry, just a small chain around her neck, the same one Ayan once gave her when they were teenagers. During the vows, Ayan said, "You were never the weak one, Zara. You were the warrior who kept walking." Zara looked into his eyes and replied, "And you were the boy who gave my broken smile a reason to shine." After the wedding, Zara launched a small foundation, the Broken Smile Project, helping bullied teens find their voice. She spoke in schools, visited shelters, and taught kids how to write their pain into poetry. Years later, one young girl from the foundation came to Zara. She was crying. People at school had mocked her. Zara held her hand and said gently, "I was once like you." She gave her a small diary. On the first page, she had written, "They mocked him for choosing me, but what I did years later had silenced everyone.